real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How are you doing, Joey?
I am ready to put up my dukes.
You're going to put up your dukes?
Yeah, but not my Daisy Dukes, my Dukes.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I don't own Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, I hope not. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's
I think I got rid of my Daisy Dukes back in the 80s.
Oh, boy.
Hey, we're going to have some fun in the studio today. We are going to be covering a serious topic, however. Yes. We have Tiffany Czarapata with Pop-A-Lock Locksmiths of Phoenix here. How are you doing, Tiffany?
I'm fantastic.
Thanks
How are
for
you
coming
guys?
back.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. Thanks.
I guess we didn't chase her off last time.
No, and we got a lot of plans with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, a lot of fun things that we're going to be putting out there for real estate agents locally. We have a lot of classes coming up, and the reason we have Tiffany in the studio today is to really talk about this topic that we're going to be sharing all of September. Mm-hmm. And September is what? It's Safety Awareness Month, right? For Agent Awareness Month. So, Tiffany, if you want to start right in with sharing, I know that you have been attacked in the past. So, if you want to start with that experience first, and then we'll get into
Sure.
the rest.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, of course. I don't mind it. I've been talking about it for a long time, hoping it can help somebody else. So, yes, in college, I was actually attacked by a man, and I went to a house party with some friends. I didn't know who actually lived there, so it was my friends' friends. And there was about 10 of us sitting around eating appetizers and maybe having a couple drinks, and just kind of a calm party, I guess, if you want to call it that. And just behind me, we're sitting on the couches, and behind me, the front door opened, and I turned around to look who it was. And it looked like he was about 6'4", kind of scary looking, oversized sweatshirt, but I didn't know who belonged there, so I didn't even realize something was wrong. I just thought, oh, this guy looks a little scary, but maybe it's the brother, I don't know. So I didn't know anything was wrong until I turned around and I just saw fear on everybody's faces. And so I just thought, something's wrong here. So he came right around and just started I'm just going to say he started groping me right in front of everybody, and it got very interesting. But I was able to kind of pat him off and send him on his way with some food and beer. He actually took us up on that, so he left. But the problem was we went around and locked all the doors, but not the windows. And so maybe a half hour later, I think, I was walking down the hallway to go to the kitchen, and there's a bathroom in there, and he happened to be in there and pulled me in and started smashing me up against the door and all that. And what I was grateful for is that I was a white belt in martial arts for about 2 weeks at the time, so I learned 3 basic moves, and 2 of them saved my life. I got him off and actually broke his nose in the process. I didn't realize I had done that until later, but the police came, and he had a warrant out for his arrest for attempted homicide and a couple rapes. And so he was the real deal, went to jail, and I'm still here to talk about it, and that's why I became so passionate and went and got my black belts. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was. It feels like a dream, but you know what? I'm powerful because of it, and I've been really, I've been teaching self-defense, street smart self-defense for 16 years because of it. Because if anybody, it just takes a couple of small little techniques to learn that can save somebody's life, and they don't have to be these complicated martial arts moves. Some of them are so basic. I'm
curious, what are those 2 techniques that you used?
Yeah, one was a breakaway. I teach in all my courses, so it's a breakaway move, how to get out of somebody's grip, and then it was a palm strike with a nice firm palm, and it just happened to go right up into his nose. I was up against a door, so I didn't have a lot of space. So what I did was I distracted him low, kind of kicked at him low or stomped on his foot. I actually don't exactly remember it, but what that causes is somebody's face to come at you, because you go at them low, they want to pull back. Yep. So it naturally pulls their face towards you. So I teach in 2s, distract low and strike high, or distract high and go low, and so it just basic, simple physics, to be honest with you. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Well, we hate that it happened.
Yeah.
But,
thank you.
But it sounds like you are using it to help others now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I look at it as quite a lesson in life, quite a lesson, and that lesson learned has helped save a whole bunch of people. I have a whole bunch of stories of people that I've taught that they did end up in a situation. Even a little 5-year-old saved himself on a playground based on a couple things we taught. So it can help anybody. It doesn't take, like I said, you don't have to go through and get your black belts. It's just sometimes just some simple, quick, down and dirty techniques to get away from somebody.
Okay. Well, speaking of black belts, how about you tell us, like, what ones do you have?
Yes, I have 2 second-degree black belts. So one is in Taekwondo, which is more the kicking and punching, and I love it. But if anybody were to ever attack me, I probably wouldn't jump and do a spin kick to the head, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
So what my passion became was combat Hapkido, and that is more of a street smart self-defense. That's just wrist locks, striking points, things like that to get away from somebody quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I've done some, I started doing some jiu-jitsu before I got into the Krav Maga training. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking, well, if somebody attacked me, or if multiple attackers, right? What am I going to get down on the ground and choke somebody out while the other 4 are kicking me in the back of the head?
Yeah.
Or is it better to learn some street smart type moves? And so that's what led me to the Krav stuff. I know, Joey, you've also
yes, I have trained. I've actually got my 3rd degree, or actually 2nd degree in Tung Sudo, which is a Korean art, and then Eskrima, which is a Filipino martial arts, and a lot of that has been seen in like the Born series, where you can use a pen to actually disable people, right?
That's right.
So, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, since we're talking to real estate agents here, I guess, why don't we get into some of the stats? I know you've put together some things that you want to share with us.
Sure.
About, I guess, certain stats that have to do with real estate and this safety awareness.
Absolutely. So when they did, I don't remember what year, just a few years ago, but they surveyed all the brokerages in the United States, and they said about 46% of them did have safety measures in place. But I'll just throw out a warning out there that one of them was, if you were in an uncomfortable situation while you were showing a house, pick up the phone and call the brokerage and say, "Hi, could you put the red file on my desk?" And that was to alert them that, that there was a problem and they need to send somebody out or call for help. But the problem was that got printed in the papers. And so we have to change the red file tactic. But I can't recommend enough that you do need to have some safety measures in place. And because, leading to the next stat, they also saw that 40% of all brokerages had some sort of an incident. Either somebody made somebody very uncomfortable and fearful and they had to get out of there, or there was an actual hands-on incident. So 40% of all brokerages.
See, that's huge. When we were talking about that earlier, I was like, 40%?
Yeah, I would have never guessed that high.
Yeah. That's NARS putting that out there, and it's definitely been looked into. So way too high. And the whole key is avoiding it in the first place,
right?
And going with your gut. If you're feeling at all, I mean, like I was telling you guys earlier, if I've been teaching this for 16 years, and every single time I teach a seminar or workshop, somebody comes up to me and tells me an incident, a story of something, and if they had a choice to get out of the situation or just be polite in quotes and keep going through that situation, 100% of the time people say, "I wish I would have trusted my gut," because they just knew in their inner guidance something was a little bit off, but they didn't want to rock the boat or be embarrassed or seem impolite, whatever it may be. But trusting that gut, I just can't say enough about it.
Yeah, they call it women's intuition sometimes. So trust that.
Yes.
Definitely trust that.
And men have that too.
Right. Yes. Well, since we were talking about incidents with certain brokers, right? 40% of them say that they've had something happen. How about sharing some tips for agents when they're doing open houses or just showing a house?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things is, if you're walking through the house and you're showing the house, you do have to take into consideration, if you're going into a bathroom and there's 0 exits available to you, always let the person go in by themselves and just tell them what to notice. Notice on the right the granite counter and whatever it is. So, and then also, if somebody is insisting on you walking in front of them, don't do that, and definitely let that gut tell you why are they so insistent that I'm in front of them. Because you should always be behind and showing the house.
Right.
And then the last thing is, I always recommend every agent go into the house before they get there, whether it's an open house or they're showing the house to a single person or a couple, and go unlock every window and every door, every deadbolt, everything, to make your exit strategy as easy as possible. And I always get the question of, people are always concerned, well, what if I unlock everything and then people can come in any route and startle me? And so I always say, well, you have 2 options. You could keep the whole house locked up in just that one point of entry in the front. And then if somebody were to attack you, you'd have no exits, except that one, and they know that, so they might be blocking it. Otherwise, would you rather have all the exits open, and if somebody comes in one, you still have all your exit strategy available to you?
Yeah, makes sense. So you mentioned if a person comes in or a couple comes in, that's interesting that you would mention, like a couple coming in and being aware of that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely don't let your guard down if there's a female with a male. Sometimes they're looking to mug you, or I mean, there's definite couples that work together, unfortunately. And also, don't let your guard down for women either. I don't walk around paranoid just because I was attacked, but I am aware of my surroundings.
There's a difference.
Yes, and I'm aware of people's energy and what they're insisting on and all that kind of stuff. And it might come across as polite, but you really kind of need to look a little deeper into some things. But women attack people too, and they're just not to be discounted. Just like a lot of self-defense is geared towards just women. Well, men make up two-thirds of murder victims. There is definitely different reasons why men and women both get attacked. They're usually different. So
for sure. How about some thoughts on what is an attacker really looking for in a victim?
Yeah, gosh, that's a fantastic question. Because once you know this, your awareness will change. They did a study, or a survey, I should say, it was over 200 people in prison who had attacked people, men and women. And they said, what do you look for in a victim? Like, how do you choose your victim? And they all said different things, but almost all of them said two things. They had two things on their list. And one of them was that people were distracted. It was just a simple thing. Their heads down, looking at their phone, or they're very deep in conversation with a friend and not aware of their surroundings. So just a simple distraction. And with us having technology on our hip at all times, we have to keep our eyes up and glance around, And then the other thing, and this was shocking to me actually, but the second thing that they said, that how they choose a victim, is that they looked weak. But it's not the size of their bicep. It's that how their posture is. Is their breastbone lifted or sunk down? And especially if they were to even startle you a little bit, would you cower and look at them, or would you lift and look at them and have that posture? So they basically said if somebody lifts their breastbone, it looks like they're a force to be reckoned with, and they would typically steer a little bit more clear of those kinds of people.
Yeah. Well, I would think it would make the attacker feel like maybe this person has trained in some type of fighting, because it's a fighting stance, if you will, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The way you stand up.
Posture is everything in life. I mean, just with everything we do, posture is everything.
Yeah. How about some self-defense tools? What are some small things that people or agents can have with them?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of my favorites, and they're very simple and unassuming, because you don't want to be walking around with a big, huge, what looks like a stun gun in your hand showing the house. That's puts somebody on guard.
Or
but
like a peg leg, because your shotgun is down.
That's
leg,
right. Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah, that'd be hard to stuff in a skirt or something.
Yeah.
It might show a little. So, but a simple pen, a pen or a rolled up newspaper or a rolled up magazine, you can put a couple rubber bands around it. But if you were to hold a magazine and just have just one little inch sticking out, and you strike into the temple, strike into the throat, even where we do the Heimlich maneuver, striking in those points are so sensitive, but that feels as hard as a wooden dowel or a cane, So a newspaper can work wonders, and then a pen too. Same technique, coming into the temple, coming into the throat, whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's important as the pressure points. What areas to hit, because you can hit a guy in a lot of places and they just smile at you.
Oh yeah, right? Absolutely. So, and punching too. I teach that punching is not nearly as effective as a throat strike.
That's right.
For example, I mean, we've all seen those movies where somebody punches as hard as they can and the person just looks back at them and keeps coming. That's a real thing, especially if somebody's on drugs or has adrenaline.
That's
right. They're not going to feel that pain. So,
Well, I've heard some things too about not striking in the head as much, because it's like a bowling ball.
Yeah.
For your hand.
We have bone, there.
You mentioned a flashlight.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So there is a stun gun, and it actually looks like a flashlight, and it actually functions as a flashlight. So, but a lot of realtors actually have this little flashlight. It has a little wristlet on it. And the wristlet actually engages into it. It connects with the flashlight, and so it makes it a stun gun when that's engaged. And so you use it as a flashlight. So a lot of realtors will have that because it looks very unassuming. It's very small, and they're just showing corners and up there and down here. And if somebody were to attack them, you just push it up one more, and it turns into a live stun gun. And then you put it against the chest and press the stun. And if somebody were to steal that from you because it's around your wrist, it pulls out the engagement pin, and it just turns into a flashlight, so they can't use your own tool against you.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I used to teach police officers in
Yeah.
California, and we teach them how to use a flashlight itself
Yes.
to distract them when you flash it in their eyes.
Yes.
And with the flashlights today, even the smaller ones, the LED lights are so bright that you can actually use that to distract.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see those spots after you've seen a bright light. You've
Exactly.
seen those spots, and it actually does work really well. There's those combat flashlights that are extra bright, that I know military uses. But yeah, flashlights, and then even just using the flashlight as a strike point, a striking tool can be wonderful. So yeah.
But I think people need to know too that if you do stun someone, well, whether it's a stun gun or whether it's a punch to the throat or whatever it is, the ultimate goal is really to escape.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
to get away, right?
Absolutely.
Because you never know when that person's gonna catch their breath again. And
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No matter how many skills you learn, my whole goal still would be to run if I can run. That's my number one technique, honestly.
Yes.
And number two, if I have to stay and get somebody off of me, my goal is to get them off of me so I can run. The whole point is to clear and get to some help.
Got it. All right. Do you know how far you can run before your hands start shaking? Full speed, like Jason Bourne?
Oh, gosh. No. I don't know. About 26 miles, I think. No, I'm just joking.
Oh,
Can you do a marathon?
No, I've done a half marathon. That was pretty much my limit.
Well, 13.1 mile is actually still pretty far.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
And I hugged all the police officers along the way, so I zigzagged a little bit. So I think I got 13.2 in there.
13.2, got it.
There. Yeah, I think I remember that from the movie. He says something about he could run flat out sprint for 5 miles before his hands start shaking.
Really?
Anyway,
I can't remember.
I'm sure it's not true. I'm sure Matt Damon can't really run.
Oh, sure. We'll have to test him when we
knows?
see him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being in here.
Yes.
We're putting on, just so you agents know out there, we are putting on classes in September. Well, I guess this month. It's September already.
Yeah.
So this month we'll be putting on some classes around the valley. We've got one out in the West Valley, one in Scottsdale, one in Phoenix that we're going to be doing. Tiffany's going to be there to help, actually, the main
she's going to be
the instructor. And Joey's going to get beat up on a little
Now,
bit.
Jeff is going to be the dummy.
I can take it. Oh, gosh. All right. But no, we hope to have you out there to learn about some of the techniques and some of the tools that can be used to help you from being in a situation like this.
Yeah, we'll be talking about some digital tools, apps on the phone, and those types of things as well, right? In
Yep,
the classes?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, let me give you the dates real quick. So the Weimar, so the West Valley, we're going to be at Weimar Wednesday, September 13th. That's from 11 to 1. And then we're going to be in Phoenix at the Phoenix location at Security Title Thursday, the 14th from 10 to noon. And then Wednesday, the 20th at SAR in Scottsdale from 10 to noon as well.
Yeah, you guys want to make sure you attend this this course, the classes that we're doing, because it's important. It's important.
I think that we should get some of the little tools that we talk about and maybe
we could probably do
have
that.
some drawings during the
That's a good idea.
during the events.
That's a good idea.
Okay, then. Well, Joey's going to pay for those.
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Thanks, Joey.
Yes, you're welcome.
Since I have to get beat up on, you can fork out the... No. All right. Well, we hope that you guys can make it out. Again, if you want the dates, they're going to be posted also on the podcast episode.
Yes.
And in Facebook on Security Titles page. So check those out. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thanks
It's
for
been great.
having me.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you,
it.
Tiffany.
Again, Tiffany Czarapata with Pop-A-Lock Locksmiths of Phoenix. And by the way, they have a really cool program for real estate agents too.
Yes.
That's a closing gift for rekeying a property, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So you can find out more about that also at the classes.
Yep.
Well, for Jeff Underwood, along with
Joey Sampaga.
we are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs, and I hope that this episode has really helped you understand the importance of understanding or at least knowing your surroundings and being prepared at all times. So until next time, we'll see you later.
Adios.
Take care.
Tiffany, you were awesome.
Great job.
Oh, appreciate that so much.
Very good.
You guys are so fun.
The Weekly Closer podcast is sponsored by Jake Krabby, NMLS number 877141 at Academy Mortgage. Are you looking to buy or refinance a home? Jake Krabby is your mortgage professional. Contact Jake at 480-442-9291. Jake Krabby is a loan officer at Academy Mortgage, NMLS number 877141. State license for Arizona number 0920357, AZBK number 0904081, and New Mexico number 877141. Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, and New Mexico 01451. Call 480-442-9291. Address 15333 North Pima Road, Suite 205, Scottsdale, Arizona 85260. Academy Mortgage is an equal housing